Hey everyone, this is Elias from RefMatch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2022 Ram 1500 Rebel GT Crew Cab. This thing is big. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We get started in the front and we can see, yeah, this thing is pretty mean looking. There is no chrome in this. This isn't a fancy schmancy pinkies up kind of trim. The Rebel is gonna be your almost PowerWagon Lite. Yeah, I definitely think it's a great label, PowerWagon Lite or TRX Lite. But we do have this awesome front end. I do love, again, the black combination with this red. I mean, this red is really in your face. It's telling you, hey, yeah, pay attention to me. And speaking about red, this hood up here is really nice. With the Rebel hood, we have all these vents in here. I am trying to see if this is functional. There is a cover underneath, but there is like a little tube, but that doesn't kind of lead to anything. So I'm not 100% sure if this is. Either way, it does look good. And again, we do have a little bit of a hint what we have under the hood there. We do have the LED headlights on this. I like the way that they look. Now, the only thing with this is there is no typical front-facing camera that I often refer to because, yeah, this one wasn't equipped with the 360-degree view. It's a little bit of a shame because I know how good this system can be. So, first thing you want to do when you get that Ram build on the website, you want to have that added on. But overall, I do love the look. I do love the color combination. The grille is nice, just everything. The hood is so good. So speaking about that, let's go ahead and see what we have under there. We get under the hood and we have the big 5.7 liter Hemi V8 with the e-torque hybrid system. It is cranking out 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, including the additional 130 supplemental launch torque that can be enabled by the e-torque system. It is going through their 8-speed automatic and to the 4x4 system that this has. Now, when I opened up the hood, I was not expecting this on there. So I was expecting a cold air intake because it did have the GT package in this, which does have it. But what I meant is not this design. I was expecting the typical sometimes cold air intake that is in the form of a tube, but this looks way better. This looks really good. I do love, so this is the Ram Airflow. It almost looks kind of like the Predator or like a Stingray or Manta Ray, but it is a really nice design. I do like the power delivery. I do like the sound to it. It is really good. And the transmission is nice and smooth, shifts really good. And yeah, overall, this package was really good. Some fuel savings that have happened with the MDS, which basically cuts off half the cylinders and it lets you run in a more efficient eco setting, so to speak. But yeah, this has been really good. I do love the way that this setup works with this big truck. Well, speaking about big, let's go ahead and take a look at those big wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and this setup means business. We do have an 18-inch wheel, which looks really good with that black color, and they are wrapped in the Goodyear Wrangler 275/70 Duratrack model. These things are incredible. It is such an aggressive tread pattern, but it is actually really quiet on the road. So that definitely was surprising. We do have the airbag suspension to get this guy up and down if you need more clearance. So it is definitely a great setup. Very smooth with that suspension as well. The brakes are exceptional. You know, you really can get this big guy stopped, and the pedal feels really good. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We take a look at the side, and this thing is really big. It definitely demands your attention. That red is incredible. We get started in the front though, and we do have that hood that had those different components in it that look really good in this. We do have this fenders protectors here. They are plastic, which is good, especially if you're gonna be off-roading. We do have, again, these big, massive 33-inch wheel and tire setup with the air suspension a little on the high side. When we get to the mirrors, this does only have the light system underneath to help illuminate the area, but it does not have the camera for the 360. Get it. You need to get the camera system in this. It's really good. It's a shame this one isn't equipped with it. But yeah, we have that. Nice Ram in black here. We do have the big crew cab doors. These things are big. We come over to the bed and we do have the GT package. So this one is equipped with a GT package. Gives you some nice little goodies. In this case, it does give you the decal on the rear. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the keyless entry. So I do have the key in my pocket, and I'll go ahead and reach over and it unlocks, and I can go ahead and open this up. One thing is missing, step. Yeah, if you're gonna get a truck, if you're gonna get a big truck like this, it's almost, I guess I've just been spoiled having all these different trucks to review that have the side step, either deployable or even static. It is just an added little thing that makes your life a lot easier, especially if you have kids to get them in. So yeah, it's a shame this one again isn't equipped with some type of side step, but again, if you're not getting it factory, go aftermarket, but it just makes a huge difference. My dad doesn't have it in his F-150, and after being in a couple of trucks that did have them, including many Rams, he definitely wanted me to look up some models for him for his truck. Now, we do have the option of locking it there because when we get to the back, unfortunately, it is not recognizing my hand to unlock. So you do have to kind of do that, and then you can go ahead and unlock the back. Yeah, it's a shame because again, with trucks now being more family oriented, I know it's a small thing, but if your hands are full, you have your kid with you, you're holding him, you know, one less thing to worry about to get them in first. So we do have that. But overall, this truck is really nice on the side profile. Now, I'll go ahead and with the key fob, one thing I am gonna add is, so I'll go ahead and lock it, but I'll press this button twice and it is going to lower the suspension. And there you have it. Now it is significantly lower. I'll go ahead and open this up, and it does make entry really, really easy. So yeah, if you do get this, get the air suspension. It's such a small thing. Price-wise it isn't, but it does make a huge difference. Let's go ahead and see what we have in the back. We get to the back and we have some classic Ram design. These taillights, iconic with the earlier generations of the truck. And we do have the Rebel badge to let people know you're gonna have some fun in this truck. Big Ram. I do like it that it's in black. Again, against this red, it is so nice. Again, no use of chrome in this. We do have a black bumper, nice design to that, and the exhaust tips as well. They look really, really good in that black finish as well. With this though, couple of things. Probably not the way I would configure my Ram truck because we don't have the split tailgate. Yeah, you're gonna want to option that out because it is definitely an awesome design, because this opens up, as you probably, if you haven't checked out my other videos, it does split and it lets you go ahead and open this up so that you are closer to the actual bed when you're loading heavier things up. But either way though, this is still a fairly good tailgate because it's actually really light. So I'll go ahead and grab my key fob, and you do have the option of pressing the button twice and it will come down. It won't go up, yeah, but not to worry because it's actually a fairly light tailgate. So literally I can bring it up with just one finger. So I'll go ahead and press that again. And it also has the illuminated system down here. It's actually fairly bright. It does only have the backup camera. So this is where you are dealing with, again, you want that 360-degree view in this truck, especially with it being big. It does have a camera in the back though, for you to use as your rear view. So you do have a rear view camera system in this. So that's a nice touch to have. But we go ahead and we get this opened up, and this does have the trifold cover in the back. I do like this system. It's a fairly easy system to use. Just a couple of latches here that you can open up, and then you can just get this guy folded. So it is a soft cloth top, but it has a metal frame on it. And we take a look at the bed liner, and this is really good. It's definitely nice and thick on there, you know, and can take an abuse. Yeah, we can see it has been used. We only used it to put our dog's food in, but I've definitely have seen people use and abuse this, and it still looks good. Yeah, the other thing with this as well, we do have the LED light system and the 4-point tie down area in the back, and they are adjustable, so you do have different positions there, which is a nice touch. So let me go ahead and close this off. And again, it's such an easy system to just go ahead and get tied in. And then we'll take a look at the key fob, because the key fob has one of my favorite things. So when I take a look at the key fob, I do have remote start in this. So I'll go ahead and press it down. Oh yeah, that V8 sounds so good. Well, let's go ahead and hop in and go for a ride. We get inside of the Ram, and on the door we have nice leather materials. We do have nice finishes. This is the dark option for the Rebel. There is another one that gives you like more of a boy racer kind of red trim around steering wheel, different areas inside of the interior. I don't know, I did love that red look to it, but this is, I think, a little bit classier. I guess I'm growing out of my boy racer phase, so to speak. But yeah, this is a little bit of a cleaner setup. But if you want to be loud, definitely go with that trim. But yeah, the armrest is nice and comfortable. We do have the Harman Kardon speaker system in this. I believe it's 19 speakers on this, which is insane. So we do have that, and we do have the smaller speaker here, or one of the 19 on the door, which is a nice touch. We get over to the seat, and the seat is so nice. With this having the GT package, these seats are so comfy. It's nice and big. It's plush. It still supports you. Now, the other thing with this is we do have the heated and cooled option. With these lower 30-degree temperatures that we're having, the heat option really helped out. Almost a little too much. It was really fast. So I did have to move it down from the 3rd, which is the highest setting, so to speak, down to the 1, to the point where I was always just leaving it at 1, because for me, I'm not a big seated heat fan, but the cooled option on one of the days that it got hot was actually really good. It did keep me cool. Then we get over to the steering wheel, and it's just big Ram. It's nice, it's comfortable, the leather feels really good. The dimple aspect of it is nice. I wish it were a little bit more. It's just very fine dimpling on it, so it would have been nice to have more so that it gives you a better texture to feel on or to grab. But yeah, overall it's a nice wheel, nice size as well. We do have the Stellantis now. It has to be Stellantis buttons in the back, which is good. You can change your stereo station, you can change your next track, as well as the volume on the right side. Front side, we do have just your basic buttons to control the gauge cluster, which we'll get into soon, and your cruise control option here. Now, with this, though, we do have some paddles. We do have some shifter paddles, and they're in a weird position, but if you get them to work for you, they're really great. They're actually kind of split. So we have one set of shifters above, kind of like the center of the steering wheel, and another set below. So I haven't really needed or wanted to really shift this. The transmission in this is fairly fine that you don't need it, but yeah, I mean, obviously if you're hauling, then I can see you needing to go into manual mode, that kind of stuff. Or if you are, you know, off-roading and you want it to stay in a specific gear. But yeah, I mean, overall, it is, once you position your hands, it's a really good position for you to go up and down in gears. So we have that. We get over to the gauge cluster, and man, we still have analog gauges. And you'd think I'd be bummed about this, but I'm not. They're big, they're clear, they do their job, and they still give you a display in the inside, in the middle. So the inside display gives you a ton of information. I do like the little corners that you can set different things to. I do like, again, just the information. So with this one, the vehicle info, tire pressure, your air suspension setting, coolant temp, trans temp, oil life, you know, the works really with this. You have the off-road settings for the drivetrain or the pitch and roll. The kind of, whoa, that was unexpected, was the performance setting, the performance or the performance mode. So this has kind of like the Challenger Charger telemetry information in a truck. Yeah, not sure why, but yeah, it made me want to get into more trouble. So you do have things like, you know, you do have things like 0 to 60 timer, 0 to 100. We do have the quarter mile, so 60, so more on like drag racing kind of thing. So we have a 60-foot timer, 330-foot timer, 1/8 mile, 1,000-foot, and quarter mile drag timers. We also have braking distance, which is kind of, yeah, kind of interesting. But yeah, we have braking distance, so it'll see from what mile an hour you started braking, and it will tell you how long it took for that. G-forces, yeah, so this is a big guy, so you can pull some G's in this. But yeah, I mean, oh, and lap timer. Yeah, not sure that I probably take this out on code or anything like that, but yeah, it does have that. And top speed. So yeah, we do have that, which was, like I said, it was kind of interesting to have that. But again, I do love this display. You have both worlds. If you're not a digital guy, you like your analog gauges, it has that. But if you want that additional info, you do have that in the middle with that nice, clear, big display. So yeah, that was a nice touch. Now, my other favorite thing is this has a heads-up display. Now, typically I say make it bright, make it sharp. This is, and you'll have a good formula for a heads-up display, but this takes it a little bit further. It is sharp, it is bright, but the positioning, it's weird. It's not up and down positioning because you can always change that, or typically change that in a heads-up display. But this has a depth to it. So it is being projected fairly out, almost to that one of the vents on the hood. Hear me out. So this is the reason I fell in love with this, is because a lot of the time, especially as someone that wears glasses and is nearsighted, it can be a little troublesome to be able to focus on what's there and then put your eyes back on, you know, a further distance out on the road. But this does it really well in the sense that the heads-up display info is fairly out, and now my sort of focus point is further out as well, and I don't have to kind of wait for my eyes to adjust to a further point on the actual road from it. It's such a simple thing, but this sets the standard for me now of what a heads-up display should have. Brightness, sharpness, and distance, focus distance. So, and again, it wasn't a setting here, at least I didn't see it, but it's just positioned in a very comfortable way to have it further out. It's really, really good. So make sure you check that box when you're building your Ram Rebel. It really makes a huge difference. And the information is great on it. You can customize it. It's really good. Now we come over here to the dashboard on the right, which is usually where you have that shifter wheel, or that shifter knob, so to speak. Now with this one, I was a little surprised when I went to go shift gears. I was like, it's not there. But we do have your 4x4 modes. So we have for auto, 2-wheel drive, for high, and for low. So we do have that option there. Again, we don't, and this has an axle lock, which is nice. So again, we don't have that option to, you know, shift it through here, but we'll get to that soon. We come over to the infotainment system, and again, for 2022, it is the first year we have Uconnect 5 available on Ram. It's nice. It is nice. Wireless Apple CarPlay. Yes, yes. Wireless Apple CarPlay in this big screen, really sharp. Only thing is, dear Lord, do you see my fingerprints? So I do have some really, maybe I gotta wash my hands a little bit or something. But yeah, you do see a lot of the fingerprints on this when the sun hits it. When the sun's not hitting it, so obviously I do have the sunroof open as far as the shade, but if you have it closed, you're not gonna see a single fingerprint. I didn't notice it till I opened it up and I go, whoa, there's a lot of fingerprints on there. But we have a big display. One of my favorite things about this, and I'm getting used to the Uconnect 5 system. I've had, you know, many Ram trucks or Stellantis vehicles with Uconnect 4, and that system was, you know, I loved it. But I'm getting used to the Uconnect 5, and I'm finding little things that I'm really loving. One of them is this view. So this is the home view, and you can have the different pages. So right now, we can basically split up the display and have it into different sections. I have the media on top. We have what we call shortcuts here, which you can get to different apps on here, and we have the comfort on the right side. So this makes it, and then we have our actual shortcuts. But that's just page 1. You can also go over to page 2, and we have another additional page that you can set up, including a backup camera button. Yes, I know this doesn't have 360-degree camera system. I don't know why you would option out your Ram with it, but definitely do it. But again, we have the backup camera that you can set up as an actual button. Really nice. We come down here and we have a couple of things. We have our trailer brake. We have our air suspension modes that we can switch between, traction control off, tow, and then your parking settings there. So they're nice buttons, good feel to them. We come down here and yes, we have the Ram charger. It literally is called that. So it's the Ram wireless charger. This is really good. I like the way that you position the phone in there. It's nice and snug, and it's pressing against the charger itself. When we come back, we do have the shifter in this. So because we have the shifter, we do lose the ability, like in other Rams, where you do have additional storage space right under here. Yeah, it's kind of a shame, but this shifter is really good. It almost makes me want to question why we have this rotary shifter in other Rams. But then losing that space, yeah, so yes to one thing, no to another. But yeah, it's a nice shifter. And then we come over here to the cup holders, really nice and big, no complaints there with that. And our armrest is big and comfortable. We do have a small compartment that we can just go ahead and open with the top little switch, and then we have the other one that opens up the ginormous space in here. A couple of Easter eggs. We do have some measurements etched onto here, as well as in here we do have different Ram silhouettes or outlines, or side profile outlines on here. So it's a nice little touch. Then we get to the back, and with this being a crew cab, there is a ton of space back there. Yeah, you can see I have my kid's seat there. No issues getting it in. No issues, buckling him in. Again, the complaint of this not having side steps, making it a little bit harder for him to actually get into it. He did complain about it. He immediately, when we opened up the door for him, he goes, "Where's my step?" Yeah, he's a little bit spoiled with some goodies that Ram has offered us in different trucks. But he's totally right. Where is the step? Yeah, if you can't get it from factory, or if you don't option it out from factory, get it aftermarket, but definitely needs a step. Even at the lowest, entry level suspension, it still has some height that requires a little oomph to kind of get in. So yeah, nice little luxury touch would be good with that side step. But yeah, we have a ton of space. It's comfortable back there, and we do have those storage bins underneath the rear area, which is good. Now let's talk performance. We're dealing with a 5.7 liter V8 with a mild hybrid. It is cranking out 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, including that additional 130 pound-feet of torque that is supplemented via the hybrid system. It is going through an 8-speed auto and then through the 4x4 system. Now, this truck has been a lot of fun. Even though I've had this drivetrain in the same Limited, it feels different in this, and it definitely has to do with those big wheels and tires. This feels more planted. Yeah, it feels more planted. It also has significantly more grip. It feels like there's way more grip in this, and the traction control just works better, I feel, with this than it did on the Limited that we had. Yeah, and what's crazy is that typically traction control, or I've experienced traction control, kind of be delayed when you're dealing with bigger wheels and tires. It's almost as if the system doesn't recognize that the bigger wheel is spinning, but it works in this. It really is a great setup. And you're not sacrificing on-road performance as far as it being quiet, it being smooth, because it's extremely smooth. You can definitely take this on a long road trip and not be bothered by loud tires or fighting at the wheel, so to speak. But when you really want to get the power down, you can just go ahead and really get it going. Yeah, and the brakes are really good too. So to get this big guy stopped, yeah, I am really surprised at how. Yeah, I didn't want to brake too hard because I do have stuff in the back. Let's see if we can get a better time. Wow. So I did go 0 to 60 with the two-wheel drive, and it did get 7.1. With the four-wheel drive auto, 6.3. Yeah. So yeah, those little performance things are pretty cool to have. Not sure if I would need this in the truck, but why not? If you're gonna offer it to me, why not? And I am really impressed with how this performs. It's smooth. It sounds nice too. It really does. The shifts are really good as well. No complaints there. Overall, this has been actually a really good setup. I think I want to get this Rebel that we drove over the other one. A couple of things: definitely need the side steps. Definitely need the 360-degree camera system, because it's really good in the Ram, and not having it was one of those whoa, what is going on here moments. So if you need to sacrifice something else, for those. Well guys, I've had a blast driving the Ram 1500 Rebel, and remember, find the right gear. See ya.